everybody? Coming to you live from my kitchen. We're going to talk today about planning a road trip. Some of you are about to head off to college. You may be going as nearby as Chicago or maybe even as far away as Los Angeles. But depending on where you're going and how long it's going to take you to get there and whether or not you're bringing a car or keeping a car there, all goes into the planning out process of how you actually are going to get from your home to your college dorm room to start, whether it's in the fall or in January, whenever that time comes. So let's talk about it. All right, so depending on where you're planning to go to college next year, you may know how to get where you're trying to go, but you may not. You may have a general idea, my college is in Chicago, but you may not know exactly where in Chicago your college is. In order to find your way around, you're going to need some maps. I love maps. First of all, I encourage you to get a local city map for the college town you're going to be in. I know that you're going to be going out. I know you're going to be taking Uber or Lyft to get home at night, and that's all fine and good. But you should still have an idea how the town is laid out, so that when you get in the back of that Uber, in the back of that Lyft, you know where you're trying to go, and you know for sure that driver's taking you where you think you're supposed to be going. It's really up to you to make sure you stay safe while you're in college. So make sure you know your way around even when you're not driving. And don't just rely on your phone, because if you've had a good fun night out, maybe you've taken so many Snapchats and so many Instagrams and Finstagrams and TikToks and everything else that you've killed the battery of your phone and you forgot to bring your rechargeable battery, so now you have no phone and you have no way of knowing if you're going to the right place or not. If you know the area, that can give you a sense of make sure you're going to the right place and that you stay safe, okay? Get a map of your local town. If you're going to a big area, maybe you need a map that covers the whole region. This is a map of the entire San Diego region. This first map was just Central Orange County. It's going to give you a lot of detail. This is going to give you less detail. It's going to be harder to find a specific address, but you can find a general area much more easily, okay? Now, these are good. And if you're going a long, long way in your car, you're definitely going to want a variety of state maps to show you the overview of the highway system, so you know if you want to take I-40 as you head east, or if you want to take I-10, or maybe you want to cut up and take I-70. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, you need to get some maps so you understand the area, so you understand what your options are, and the benefits and the downsides of the different ways you could go. Okay, maps are going to be really crucial as you're planning out your trip. But don't just use these to plan and then leave them at home when you head out. Take them with you in the car, put them in the glove box, put them in the map compartment on your door, put them somewhere where they're accessible, so should you need to pull them out, should your battery die, or you're outside of cell range and you get lost, you can still figure out where you are and where you need to go. And look at the maps before you go so you have a general idea of where you're trying to get. Okay, so you've planned out your trip. You know the route you're going to take. You know where the gas stations are. You know where the bathroom breaks are going to be. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe that's what you use your phone for as you're on your way. But one of the last things you want to look at before you actually hit the road is what else do you need in the car with you to keep yourself comfortable. Obviously, you've packed the back with all of your worldly possessions that you're going to have with you in the dorm, but still leave some space either right behind the driver's seat if you've got a passenger, or in the passenger area for a couple of things that are going to help make your drive more comfortable as you go. For one thing, stay hydrated even when you're driving. Yes, you may have to stop for more bathroom breaks, but having some water along the way is going to help you stay healthier. It's going to help you stay more alert. You're going to be a safer driver that way. Plus, you need bathroom breaks. You need to stop every couple hours, get out, stretch your legs. So bring plenty of water. If you're concerned about staying awake, bring a thermos full of coffee. You can bring this with you from home. It's a lot cheaper than stopping at all the Starbucks along the way. And you can just refill your coffee cup as you go, keeping yourself topped up on the liquid Java that's going to keep you rolling. Okay, you're also going to want to bring some snacks. You don't want to have to pay for food every time you need to stop. You want to have some things with you. A couple things I always have in the car when we take a road trip: always bring fresh fruit, things that are relatively easy to eat while you're driving with one hand, like an apple or a banana, plus things that don't make too much of a mess. You may love blackberries or blueberries, but they can make a mess. You can spill them and they can get everywhere in your car, and then they squeeze out when you step on them, and then they stain your carpet, and it's a whole big mess. Things that are going to be easy to eat with one hand and that won't make as much of a mess are going to be great snacks. Can't just have fruit alone, so maybe you want some granola bars, some other kind of a treat, something just to keep you motivated as you drive it along. So a granola bar might not be bad. I personally, when I'm taking a long road trip, I eat a lot of sunflower seeds. I get the ones at Trader Joe's, not that I'm promoting or sponsoring and they're not paying for any of this, But this bag is 99 cents. A similar size bag from some of the other companies is $3 or $4. So I go with the cheap ones. Plus, I think they're the best. One thing that you want to steer a little bit clear of, if you can, is too many chips or junk food or things like that. This is going to weigh you down. It's going to make you feel heavy. It's going to make you feel tired and groggy. You want to go with healthier food as much as you can. And then, of course, if you have a passenger with you and you're drinking all this coffee, your breath's going to start to stink. So keep something like mints or gum in the car as well. These things are going to be really important for you. Depending on how long your road trip is, maybe you want to think about bringing a picnic lunch with you for each day. And you can stop somewhere along the way. That way you can stop where you want to stop, where there's a pretty scenic area or an overlook where you can stop and have your lunch instead of having to stop where there are restaurants, because that's where the food is. The more things you can bring with you, the more freedom you give yourself to stop where you want to stop instead of where you have to stop because you have a need that needs to be met at that moment. Okay, some other things to take into consideration when you're planning out what you're going to have in your car. Number one, especially if you have a passenger, you want to think about the comfort of the other people that are going to be in the car. So maybe you are a little colder and your travel partner is a little warmer a lot of the time. That's how my family is. I'm usually the warmest. As you guys know, you've been in my classroom. So I like the car to be a little bit colder. Everybody else likes to be a little bit warmer. So rather than me being uncomfortable the whole time, usually what we do is everybody brings a blanket of some kind that they keep. This is actually a replica of a blanket that my father-in-law carried in Vietnam when he was serving there. It's very lightweight, and you can see it's not very big when it's folded up, but when you open it up, and of course I tried to put an easy knot on here and now it's stuck. When you open up this blanket, it's big. It easily will keep you comfortable and cozy and warm while you're taking a nice long road trip. You can take a nice solid nap under this. If you're going to try to take a nap in the front seat of a car, that's not going to be very comfortable. So we usually bring some kind of a stuffed animal. This is Flower. This is my daughter's stuffed penguin she's had since she was very little. We bring things this size and shape because this is perfect when you're driving down the road and you want to take a nap in the front seat. You roll your seat back, put a little pillow in, and you're gone. Sorry. Okay, so we keep these things in the car. Another thing that I always keep in my trunk is a hammock. It's a double hammock. You never know. You're stopping somewhere, you want to hang out, you got a good overlook for lunch, and you want to set up a hammock for a few minutes and enjoy the view while you relax. It takes up almost no space. This is a double hammock. This thing is huge. It's plenty big for me and someone else to join in with me. It'll hold 400, 500 pounds. Okay, great hammock. I love to have it in my car. Another thing that I always keep in the car is a flashlight. And this particular flashlight I use every day here at home when I take my dog out at night. But I also take this one on road trips. As you can see right here in front, it's a solar panel. It recharges itself. I can also plug it into the wall to recharge it. Or, in a pinch, I can hand crank it and recharge it. 1 minute of cranking is 2 minutes of flashlight time. It's got a spotlight that works great. It's got a floodlight. And it has a red light that you can use at night and it's more visible. The other thing that this one will do is it's got a little port right here. You can actually charge up your cell phone right here on this flashlight. It's a great thing to have with you. Also bring your little battery charger. Make sure you have everything you need for your phone to keep it up and running. These are the things I keep in the car to stay comfortable. You might also want to think about a good playlist of a lot of good music, good podcasts like Dishing with Dutra. Have those ready to go. You also want to think about bringing some books and some magazines, anything you can to keep yourself entertained for the long hours you're going to be on the road, especially if you can find books that have activities and games that you can play with the driver. That's a great way to help pass time as you guys are cruising across the country. All right, so you guys are on the road and you've been going for a couple hours and you're starting to feel a little bit tired. That's normal and that's fine. The important thing, though, is when you start to feel that way is that you stop and take a break. Get out of the car, stretch your legs, go use the restroom, clean out the trash that's in your car so it doesn't pile up too much and you don't get out like Michael Scott and trash is falling out of your car as you get out. Take care of the car as you're going, but take enough breaks. The longer you drive, the more you take long road trips, you'll start to figure out what your endurance level is and how long you can handle going. Maybe eventually you'll end up like me where you can go all the way to Idaho in one day from Orange County. But right out of the gate, you guys have been driving for 2 or 3 years. You guys need more time behind the wheel to get that experience to know how long you can go. In the meantime, take a lot of breaks. We take a lot of breaks. We drink a lot of water when we're in the car so that we can stop and take breaks every couple hours as needed. We don't go for too long before everyone in the car starts getting stir crazy from sitting still for too long, but also so that I don't start getting too sleepy or tired as I'm trying to drive down the road and keep my family safe. Take enough breaks, keep yourself safe. That's going to be really important. Also, don't let your gas tank get too empty. When you're taking a road trip, maybe at home you're used to going all the way to E and you're waiting until the light dings at you and it says you have 0 miles left until you stop and get gas. It's because you know there's a gas station around the corner. But when you're driving across Nebraska or Wyoming, you don't know where the next gas station is going to be. So you need to pay attention to how much gas you have and fill up long before you need to. A, it's a good chance to take a break. And B, it makes sure that you don't run out in some desolate place where you don't want to be running out of gas. Okay? Couple things to think about as you're on the road.
Accident. It can be difficult to know what to do next. To make it easy, you are involved in an accident. It can be difficult to know what to do next. To make it easy for you, USAA has created this simple checklist. Whether it's with another vehicle, an animal, or pedestrian, the first priority is safety. Call 911 if there are any injuries. If you are able, move to safety, but don't leave the scene of the accident. If safe to do so, take pictures of the accident scene and all vehicle damages. If your accident involves another driver, you'll need to exchange the following information: name, driver's license number, insurance company and policy number, year, make, model, and license plate of any vehicle involved. If anyone witnessed the accident, get their contact info, as well as a police report number if the police arrive to the scene. When you report your claim through the USAA mobile app or USAA.com, you are able to schedule an inspection, arrange your repairs, and if applicable, request a rental car. Click on this page to begin your claim.
All right, so there you go, guys. That video is from USAA, my insurance company, and it just gives you a good overview, as you guys can see, what to do in an accident. Here's a couple things that I think I just want to highlight for you to make sure that you know. Number one, if you get into an accident, I was taught this somewhere along the way, and I think it's good advice. Don't ever say you're sorry. Whether it was your fault or not, never say you're sorry, because the other side might take that as an admission of guilt on your part. So steer clear. I know it's human nature, and you want to say, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, is everybody okay? Rather than that, say, oh my gosh, is everybody okay? Worry about the people, but try really hard not to say, I'm sorry. Number two, make sure you get all the information from the people that were involved. Driver's license information, license plate for the car, if you can get it, the vehicle identification number, and their insurance information, who their agent is, what their policy number is, so that when you call your insurance, you can give that information. The insurance companies will do a lot of the dealing kind of behind closed doors without our involvement as the drivers, but the more information we can give them, the better. Plus, utilize that camera on your phone and take pictures of the scene, take pictures of the other car, take pictures of your car, take pictures of the overall intersection wherever the accident happened, the whole scene, the whole area of what happened. If there are other witnesses around, maybe get a picture of their license plate number in case you lose their information, can't get a hold of them later. And then also when you get that information from the other person in the car, take a picture of that too, so you don't have to worry about losing a slip of paper. Speaking of slips of paper, there are a lot of different resources on the internet that you can actually download, kind of a checklist of what to do in case of an accident. It's not a bad idea to have something like that either in your glove box or at the very least saved on your phone so you can pull it up and make sure you get the information that you need. Okay, but make sure more than anything that you're staying safe, your seatbelt is on, and you're driving as defensively as possible. Most accidents can be avoided if you're careful and if you're paying attention to your surroundings. All right, so I think that's it for cars. I don't think there's anything else I can talk to you about or teach you about with cars. A couple of things I'd like to leave you with. Number one, enjoy the journey. Take your time. You're taking this long trip, whether it's for a vacation or you're heading off to school, build in the time to see some sights along the way so that you don't feel rushed. Also, by building in time to see some sights, if something happens to go wrong, it doesn't completely throw you off your schedule. A couple years ago on one of our trips up north to go to Redwood National Park, the alternator on my wife's car died on us, and I had to replace the alternator while we were underway. But it happened on a day when we were already planning to take it easy. We were visiting family friends, and we were going to go out on a sailboat, and we ended up going back and swimming in the pool with the kids, and that was the perfect time for me to take the car and go get the needed repairs done. Because we built in that time, it didn't actually throw our vacation off at all, and we stayed right on track for the rest of the way. So building in that time to go and enjoy some sights. Maybe you miss some things along the way because something goes wrong, but you're not going to be late to your destination if there's a specific time when you have to be there. So build in that time, but enjoy the journey. Take your time. Don't rush. Don't worry about if everyone's going past you at 90. Stay at a speed that you're comfortable with. I find that if you keep your speedometer at about 5 miles an hour above the speed limit, you're going to go fast enough that you're not stuck behind really slow traffic and you can get around them, and you're going slow enough that the really fast people are going to blow past you, and you find a lot more open space when you find a nice solid speed that you're comfortable with, that other cars are going to be comfortable with, because now you can space yourselves out and enjoy yourself more because you're not stressed about the cars that are zooming around you the whole time. So enjoy yourselves, have a great trip, have a lot of fun along the way, enjoy the memories, take lots of photos, and I can't wait to hear about your successful road trips on the other end of this whole thing. So that's it for now. Talk to you soon.